right off the bat, I am completely confused with this. Now this is a video that's dedicated to the Batman himself. I mean, haven't we talked enough about the Batman already? I'm pretty sure that in Gotham, the very first video that we watched, there's already stuff to know about him. They pretty much told us the stuff we need to know about the Batman, and that was pretty much a good start. I mean, the first video was talking about Gotham, but they just included Batman's history, including Bruce Wayne's. So what else is there more to talk about with this guy?
The Batman, a figure of controversy and a hero to some. The man behind the mask, Bruce Wayne, was at the direct center of the masked vigilante phenomenon in Gotham City from 1919 to 1939. Being born into the wealthy Wayne family, Bruce was considered Gotham royalty. His family had been one of the founding ones in Gotham's earliest days. The Waynes also contributed majorly in Gotham's economic structure. They owned the largest manufacturing company in the city and also employed thousands of its citizens. Bruce's parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, were very loving and nurturing. Bruce had a happy childhood until one fateful night.
They got shot.
While out at the theater, the Waynes were held up by a man with a gun. Whether it was by murderous intent, Bruce was the only survivor. It was the last time. Bruce fell under the care of
I'm skipping this.
Alfred had served in His Majesty's Royal Forces from 1879 to 1881. He originally only intended to serve the Waynes for a short time. With time, he realized he enjoyed the role of being a gentleman's gentleman. Alfred's military background made him a perfect fit for the strict regiment of buttling. He became a trusted friend and confidant to the Wayne parents, and after their deaths, a consolation to Bruce. The teenage years of Bruce were a tumultuous time. Bruce convinced Alfred to train him in basic combat. The boy made the case that he needed something to cope with the death of his parents. Alfred reluctantly agreed to help him train, thinking Bruce might grow out of it. He was dead wrong. Instead, Bruce continued to train both mentally and physically. He wanted to be as formidable as he could in every sense of the word. Bruce called on teachers from all corners of the globe. He received training for many different martial arts and combat methods. Vacations abroad were spent delving into other cultures. A powerful person, he gained access to his full inheritance, the Wayne family holdings, and majority ownership of Wayne Enterprises, Inc. He had the help of his late father's allies in the company, such as Lucius Fox. The Fox family were old friends with the Waynes, and Thomas made sure his friend Lucius got the same education that he did. While Thomas went into the medical field, he left the care of his money investments to Lucius. Lucius's friendship with Thomas extended to Bruce as well, and Bruce grew up knowing that he could trust and rely on Mr. Fox to support him. Upon reaching adulthood, Lucius was later instrumental in helping Bruce fund and build his arsenal for the Batman's crusade.
Yes.
Patience, sciences, media, naive, as Wayne Enterprises. It also saved the company during the stock market crash years later.
Oh, that.
Bruce's reasons for taking the company in different directions wasn't solely business strategy. Even then, he was laying the foundation to become Gotham's protector. He wanted to expand his training and take more. Everywhere he went, Gotham citizens knew his until the Great War broke out in 1914. He enlisted with his friend, Harvey.
Okay, we're in World War One. Okay.
Public opinion of the young Wayne was that he was throwing his life away to go play war hero. Bruce utilized this as well. In the very first battle he and Harvey fought in, Harvey was grievously injured, and Bruce disappeared, declared missing in action. Most presumed him dead or captured. Without his butler, his money, or his fame, Bruce finally felt free for the first time. He spent the next 2 years finishing his training and hiding.
I completely forgot. He
would
fought
barter,
in World War
work,
One.
or stow away across the globe, training with various groups and masters. During his early training in his teen years, his teachers had told him rumors of an especially mysterious group. Some were terrified of them, others considered them saviors. They were called the League of Assassins. The group was spoken of in ghost stories, but Bruce was convinced there was truth to the tales of the League of Assassins and their mysterious leader. He wanted to learn to inflict
Batman
fear like
Begins
the
did
League
it. Next.
After searching for them enough, they eventually found him. The details of his training with the League are lost to time. The only mention of that had resulted in numerous scars, and he used this to spin a story of it was worse than when he had left it.
Yeah.
Gotham's politicians, many criminals of which Gotham had never seen the likes. It was at this time that the Batman appeared. Many thought the masked vigilante merely an urban, but eventually assumed much of Bruce's 89 actually Bruce's mom is this threat loom. It's every was one spoken of only in nursery rhymes. Perch behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth.
This is a completely pointless video. It's completely pointless. I think this is the worst video. This is the worst video out of the entire series so far. It just tells us what we know. They might have added one or two new informations, but it's not needed. It's not needed. And the fact that I had to skip through it, even though it's not a disgusting or an embarrassing scene, it's just a boring thing to sit through. Well, why did I get into the series again? Oh, because it's a unique take. It's a good documentary style series for the time period it's set in. Moving Gotham into an older time period. Too bad that there's only so much they can do to make it interesting. I'm just gonna say this is the worst video out of the entire series so far. So, next videos we're gonna watch before it all comes to an end is the Court of Owls, and it's going to be divided into 3 parts. 3 parts? Just 3? They better make it interesting. To 3 parts, that means they're a big deal.